All right, welcome to ceramics class. Here we have a pit-fired coil-built jar. And here you can see the carvings that I put into it. A little turtle. And then these colors are really cool that come out of it. Some of them are from Miracle Grow. Some of them are from, what do you call that? Banana peels. Some of them are from papaya seeds. Others are from seaweed. There's a whole list of things. Some cobalt powder. Cow pies make really nice dark black colors. So we are going to be making a coil build project today that will be able to go into a pit firing. And this pit firing is going to be done in a barrel. So we could call it a barrel firing. Got my clay. This clay right here is going to be going into a extruder. So there's different ways to make your coils. So I'm going to throw this one into an extruder. Get a little bit more clay. Make sure to always cover your clay when you're not using it so that it doesn't dry up on you. All right, I'm gonna move this right here. I'll move it to another table because I'm gonna throw this down. I don't want it to accidentally. All right. So in order to fit into my extruder, I have to make a dropping things. Maybe I got a little too much, but I'm gonna make it into a cylinder so it'll fit inside. You don't have a extruder at home, so I'm going to show you guys how to make some coils without an extruder also. That's what I'm going to save this for. Okay, this is good. Let's move over. Okay, here we're looking at a extruder. Okay, so an extruder is just a cylinder that has something at the bottom with a hole in it, and that hole will have different shapes. So on this one, I can adjust this and get different shapes, and it pushes it through whatever size I want. This one is maybe like, maybe it's 3/4 of an inch across, 3/4 of an inch hole, okay? And then this is just a bracket that holds it up, okay? So I hold it just like that. Put this in here. You gotta make sure that you clean up your, if you use an extruder, make sure you clean it when you're done, or else you're gonna be very sad because it's going to get hard in there and it's going to be very hard to clean it. So always clean up after you are done with your extruder, okay? This arm right here is just going to go inside like this, and then I'm going to come here and push down till it extrudes it out, okay? I'm gonna put this on the side right now while I load the clay. Okay, some people will do like a plastic bag around this and just make a hole, and then as it pushes through, the clay comes out and then there's less to clean up. But I found that that can be more difficult sometimes. All right. So take my bite, and then down here, it's going to come out. Pushing, it's compressing all that clay. You got to use quite a bit of clay. So if you're just going to make a small amount of coils, I wouldn't use the extruder. And you see how it comes out right here? You guys can't see the... Okay. So I'm going to pull down. And then it's just spitting it all out. And then I put a board down so that it will go onto something that I can move over. Once you get to a certain height, I come in, take another bite. Just go down till it stops. Okay, that's all the way. Break off your coil, and we have a bunch of coils that we can use for our projects. Okay, the way I take it out is I pull up, take another bite, pull up, take another bite, until you can get it all the way out. So then you have all this extra clay. It's still good clay. I would just peel it off, put it back in your bag, or use it to make slip, whatever you want to do with it. Okay? And then you wash all of this. Pull the pins, pull the base, or the ring that holds it all together. I just pushed it down with my hand on the inside, come in here, and take off all the clay that's on here. And yes, of course, you're gonna wash it out. Okay. So I do this before I go and build my project, and then I forget that I have a bunch of clay in here, and then it makes a big old mess. Okay, so make sure you clean out the inside of it. And I'm just running my fingers in there and pulling it out. And then later on, I'll get a big sponge and clean it. Okay. So once it's all, the big chunks are clean, I'll come with a wet sponge, go inside, take this to the sink, clean this, take this to the sink and clean this. Okay. All right. You guys have all seen how we make our slabs. If you still don't know how to make a slab, check out one of the other videos where it talks about making a picture, or sorry, not a picture. If you haven't seen, or you don't know how to make a slab, go check out the videos on how to make a mug or a box, and it shows you different ways to make slabs. Okay, is that in focus, Yvette? Okay. Is the lighting okay, or does it seem too dark? Okay. All right. I'm going to run this through the slab roller real fast, and I'll be back. You remember how to use the slab roller, Yvette? Say that again? The slab roller. The table, the slab roll table. You didn't watch it in the video? Say that one more time. Okay. Here, I'll put the camera on it though. Okay. Move this way. Oh no, I think I can just rotate. Oh, that doesn't want to rotate. Here we go. That slab roller. You remember that one? No. Okay. Okay. So the slab roller has a big wheel here, a little wheel below that you can't see. It's under the table. And here, I'll show it to you. It has a wheel down there and a wheel up here. Can you guys see that? It's kind of hard to see the wheel in here, but there's two wheels, okay? And each wheel, here. So there's your two wheels. So the clay goes through here, and you adjust the height with these. Ooh, hit my funny bone. The clay goes through, you adjust the height with these, and then the clay comes through here at that perfect thickness. So if you guys were here in person, you'd be able to use this and your slabs would go a lot faster, okay? I use two canvases, one on top, one on the bottom, to make it so that your clay doesn't get all nasty and stuck in there and dry on the wheel, okay? So the way this works is you roll it through, okay? So I would take the top one, fold it up, put the bottom one down. Actually, I get another piece of canvas. Is that in focus, Yvette? Okay, get another piece of canvas, lay it down nice and flat. I have my clay that I threw down, which I need to do. I have my clay that I threw down and put it on the canvas. I think it'll be about there. We'll make it like this. Okay. Fold it in half. Move it all the way to where it's going to engage with the wheels. cover it, pull this side till it touches the wheels, and before I do it, adjust my thickness. I'm gonna go 3/8. So maybe that other hole is about more closer to a 1/2 inch or 5/8. It's pretty big. You know what? Let's go 1/2 inch. Let's see. Okay. All right. I'm pulling on this one so that it engages, and once it engages, then I just spin the wheel. It compresses it through, and I go until the canvas stops moving. Once the canvas stops moving, I can pull back. I'm gonna go 3/8. Okay, and then I'll just send the canvas back. Okay. Okay, once I send it back, open it up, pull it to check, and I have a nice big slab. This big slab I can take over to my work area. Oh, I gotta move the camera. Oops, sorry. Did I lose you guys? Sorry. I don't know why it came loose. Yes. Yeah, don't ask though. You're working on your stuff, so. And I'm saying don't ask because we're recording. All right. Is the camera back on, Justin?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Get some light. All right. So I have coils from the extruder. I have a slab of clay right here from the wheel, not wheel, a slab of clay from the, what's that thing called? Rolling table. Whee. I have a slab of clay from the rolling table. I have the coils from the extruder, okay? So I have these, the way that I can make coils with this is by cutting shapes and then working with it, okay? I like this round, this square kind of feeling shape here. So I'm gonna use this for my base. Just like that. And then come in with my knife. And then I'm gonna cut that out. Okay, so I have like a round square shape. Okay. I'm going to save that for my base. You know what? At this point, I can put my name on it because that's going to be my bottom. So here, mark it with my stamp. My name's in it. I don't have to worry about putting it in later. You want to always label your projects. Okay. Flip it over. And then I'm ready to work with it. Put it off to the side for right now. Okay. Then you say, hey, those aren't coils. Those are, it's like a slab. You're right. You're so smart. Okay. So, how could I make this into a coil? Well, if I cut some strips out of it, so for example, like that, then this will be easier than rolling a large piece of clay into a coil because I already have it kind of the shape of the coil that I'm looking for. Okay? So this is like a strip coil. All right? And you can make it nice and round, roll it even more. And then you have your coils. So if you don't have an extruder to make nice coils like these, then cutting them into strips, your nice thick slab. Make sure it's thick. If it's too thin, your project's going to become real thin, and then it's going to not do so well in the pit firing. Okay, and then roll them out. Start in the middle. Okay, and this takes a little bit of practice. So if you don't get it the first time and you break them, it doesn't feel so good. That's okay. Happens to everyone. Okay. So you have your coils, you roll them out. You can also build with just strips, okay? You don't have to roll them out. But usually rolling them out will make it, like this one's a little thin right here. Rolling them out might make it a little bit more consistent, okay? All right, so how do I build with my coils? All right, so because this is still plastic hard, it's not needing to have slip when I build this, okay? So I'm just gonna come around the shape, try to keep it, you know, however you want to keep it for that look. And I'll come around. You can do break it off, and then here you have that shape. So you have that height too. Okay. You can do that. You can go around. I like this method because it doesn't get uneven. It all stays one level. Okay, so we'll just try that. We just won't put the joints in the same spot. Okay. As you go, you can make it slightly larger. Okay. If you wanted to do some detail coils, this is where you can add your larger coils. Okay. If you wanted to do some detail coils, this is where you can start adding your smaller coils. So let's say you wanted to do like a little spiral effect. So let's say you want to do something like this for your project. You can do that. And you can start adding a bunch of them. Or however you're going to do it. Okay? So let's say I wanted this to go the opposite way. Now I'm going to be like that. Okay? So there's those styles. Okay? But before I add those, I'm going to build up the shape that I want to do so that I have my basic size that I'm going for. Okay. And as I add, this is 3 levels high. So then here, I'm going to smooth it out now. And the way that I smooth it out now, is by pushing them together. So here I'm pushing down at this angle, kind of at that downwards angle. On the outside, I'm going to go the opposite way and pull up or push down so that I get kind of like an X feel to it. Okay, and I just go around. And this is where having some type of spinning lazy Susan or something, or banding wheel will help, because it makes it easier when you can move. It makes it easier when you can spin the project. Okay, so here, as I go down, I support the outside, I go at an angle. And you see how I blended it right there? All right, so I would blend here, and I go all the way around the inside to do it. And then after I did the inside right here, the inside went this direction. The outside, I'm gonna do like an X shape. So I'm going to come across the other way to make it a little bit stronger. And then I'm gonna smooth it out. Now you don't have, if you're gonna do a design like you did with, like I showed you with those circles, you don't have to do that for those sections. Or you can just do it on the inside and make it stronger, and the outside doesn't have it, or vice versa, up to you. Okay. And then that's how I would smooth it, and then I would smooth this side. When I'm all done, going all the way around, then I come back with some tools to help me smooth it even more, and with some kidneys and such. Okay. So I'm gonna finish doing the inside, smoothing it out. I would say try to build your size in one day. Or one setting. Don't try to say, okay, I made the coils and then I'm going to come back tomorrow. If you do that, you run into issues because the coils will dry and get stiff on you, and then they're going to end up breaking, or you're going to have problems. So unless you're super awesome with it, understanding the stages of clay, which most beginners are not, I would say make your project the size that you want to make it in one day. And that way you don't have to waste so much clay. Okay, that's pretty strong on the inside. Okay, I'm gonna try to keep the shape as best as I can, but sometimes if you go too soft or if your coils are too wet, then you start to lose the shape. So you gotta be careful, slow down, dry it out, or sometimes even let it sit for a little bit and then come back and add to it. Okay. Sometimes you'll see people just put a whole slab, like a coil, like a fat coil that comes up, goes all the way around so that they can do less blending. You can do that too. It just takes a little bit more practice to get it. Okay. That's how I would do the coils. And then here, you can see I'm just coming up and across at that angle to smooth it out. Sometimes you gotta push it back down. Sometimes smoothing it out is enough. Just pulling up, say. So ideally you want to get it so that you don't have, it's pushing one layer onto the other layer so that it has a more of a bond happening. And you'll notice I don't leave it rough like this. Even though it's kind of a cool look, I'm going to come back and fix that and smooth that out. So unless you're trying to do like a tree bark effect or something, probably would smooth it out. So I'm holding on the inside with one hand as I smooth out on that with the other hand on the outside, or as I compress and move the clay across. If I don't support, sometimes you push a little too hard and it becomes all lopsided and ugly. When you're doing real big projects, you would probably blend as you go. You wouldn't do so many coils, but this is a smaller project, so I can do multiple coils. Like if the coil's real big like this, then I'd probably like blend it as I put it on. Okay. And then you go through and make sure that everything is covered and you have that shape to it. You can take your rubber kidney and smooth out. Your rubber kidney is like an extension of your fingers or hand. Just makes it okay. So we're building our shape. Okay, also, once you have the shape that you want or the size that you want, you can use a paddle to smooth out. Let's say it's all bumpy over here. You can use your paddle to smooth it out. You say, oh, I don't have a paddle. Okay, well then use, a piece of wood or even, a spoon. Those wooden spoons your mom has in the kitchen. Those work as well. You use a wooden spoon your mom has in the kitchen. That works as well. So if your project is starting to get a little bit lopsided, paddle it. if you get it wet, you're gonna see that your paddle sticks, so don't get it too wet. Or I wouldn't even get it wet. Sometimes you need to have something on the inside larger to support as you paddle. You can do that too. Okay. So here on the inside, I didn't finish blending. So now I have the outside. I'm going to try to blend the inside. You got to really hold that outside because it's easy to push it out with the outside. If you got to go to class, guys, you can go. All right. So I have my basic shape. Okay. So there's that. You can take your coils, and keep adding to it if you need to, or smooth it. If you're done, start smoothing it out. Even better than what we have. This is not very smooth. If you want to open it, you really got to finesse it to open it without breaking it. So let's try to open it. So it's getting a bit wider. I'm holding the bottom, letting the outside stretch a little bit. Just pushing gently. Yeah. Yeah, I said you guys can go if you need. Bye. So you see how the bowl starts to take a different shape as we start to pull out as we round up. Sometimes you see like little dips like this. It's kind of hard to see, but I try to push out in that area and then smooth it as I do it, so that it doesn't have like a little weird indent. Okay. And that's how I would start to build a coil pot structure. You take your time. You can make it way nicer than this. This is just a example of how to put it together. So make sure your projects are nicer than mine. See if I can record finishing it off later.